I gotta play bears. I jinxed myself by having the good bears run pre-stream. I just had to test it out. Give me a harmony deck. Okay. This is interesting. Except they're probably gonna have the one guy who boosts all the warriors to like 5 billion points. No big deal or nothing. Okay, that's good. Get rid of him. Okay, I'll take both those. Okay. That's alchemy, not a raid card. Got it. It's only a 2. Okay. So I do have Frushka right now. He's got 1 Highland Warlord. Feral Bond, okay. I'm just trying not to practice his +3 damage. Though it's round 1, so I don't really give a fuck. Alright. Yeah, they changed Patricide, so now you can do all those at the same time. Bloodthirsty 3, now he can look at whatever he wants, so he's gonna get another Highland. Knows it well. Okay, you can have that, buddy. So his Blood Eagle's gonna do 4 damage. Fine, I don't give a shit. This should do 4. Yep. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Ah, that. You hate to see that one. I do like that this is now a memory. So it's got the resilience and how they changed it. That's actually really good. Saddle Blood Totem's pretty cash money. I have 4 seagulls. Caca! So he can bring back Highland Warlord twice. Yep. Okay.
Women, children, elders, spare none.
4. One is this damage enemy unit by 4. Oh, okay, I'll take that. It's fine by me. Good. Good, good, good. Alright, didn't get my one bear, but I'll take it. Oh, I don't have the one guy either.
To arms, all of yous. I won't want to walk away from this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see a gap in their armor. Make one.
And I can use Fuchsia for her. Yep, there we go. Nice.
Folk can be just as treacherous as the sea.
I could do this all day.
Mm-hmm.
The strong devour the weak. Not to stop me. The stench of fear. I knows it well.
That's a lot of seagulls! 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Nice. Time to murder that guy. It's a lot of bears!
Hit it one day, Ron. What's 3 hours?
The birds and the bears! They don't teach you about that in school. They really need to.
Show us what you got.
By 8. Okay, cool. See what you do about that.
For a land rat.
And then they let you summon. Mm-hmm.
Best drown in one of those damn nets.
Oh, she's still alive!
Washes away all shame.
Okay.
Let's take the measure.
by 8! Seems like some overkill. Ouchie, my birds! If only I had drawn my golds. If only. This is rank 5. This is fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh. So, did every single fucking faction just get the same card where it boosts everything in your hand to extraordinary levels unless you kill it? And even then, it's... Okay, we're going against another patricide. Cool, cool. Yar har fiddly dee, a pirate slave for me. Oh, okay, I finally get Savlad. That's cool. Don't need that. Don't need that. Definitely don't need that. Okay, cool. Gotta win with bears, man. Feels real bears. Aw, shit, they're copying me.
Stench. I knows it well.
I'm gonna want Artis. No, I want Savblood. I want Savblood. Get rid of Sigvald for now. Oh, jeez. Bark, bark, wolves!
What is it?
I mean, alright. So, I just set up a hell of a domino effect. I hope you all appreciate what's about to happen. Because it's going to be pretty fucking funny. I'm stealing your wolves! Haha! It's mine! I did that out of spite. Well, I mean, okay. Bark, bark! Bear, go bark, bark! Alright. Bear, go barky, barky. Okay, don't fucking need that. Ooh, that, I'll take that. Alright.
Needs a fierce king.
There you go, buddy. Enjoy.
I'll gut you like fishes.
I'm making him fucking go.
Ariel's been chosen.
I'm making him fucking go.
You shall never find peace.
Taking your dogs.
Sacrifices for men's one and all.
I kneel to Svalbard and Svalbard alone.
Aw, heck. Aw, jeez. Aw, heck.
We'll fight to the last bloody drop in our veins.
Give me the dog.
Tomorrow I'll drink with our forefathers.
Yeah, give me the dog.
We fight, we plunder. Full service.
Okay. Oh, you hate to see the Morkov go to waste there. You really do. All right, finally I'm free from this fucking nightmarish hellground. All right, I need to look up the new fucking shit that came out for this goddamn monstrosity. Cause these cards, I watched like Spyro cover them, but my god, that was ridiculous actually playing against them. So Dagon and Savablood, they get cool stuff. Alright, great, love it, wonderful. Anything else in the reward tree that they added? No, cool. Okay, alright, great, wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna run the 60-second Jeff Bezos ad, because sacrifices are required, so for those of you not subscribed, 60 seconds of Bezos, and then we're going right on in to the meaty part of this stream. I think it's time after the bear times, shall we? Alright, 60 seconds, and then you're free for 20 whole minutes. Small price to pay to appease the Bezos. Alright. Might I remind everyone to iShop, iPatreon, iGamerTag, Discord, because Sparky went to sleep like a little tiny baby, even though he summoned Bear Deck. I knew he would, and I was prepared. There's Discord, Donate, Spotify for some sweet, tasty jams. And then also, for my international viewers, Ola. Oh, I forgot the O. Ola. Ola! Privet. Sej. And Anyang. Also, Ni Hao. I keep forgetting to add Ni Hao. I feel like that would be a good one to add. And smoke time. Alright. And, might I remind everybody, for the low price of a single bit, you could be bit leaderboard champion right now. Just saying. Also, I want to point out before I go into the actual, like, this Gwent part. I did get my hair done, did good. It's pretty good. But this right here is not hives like some of my faces have right now. That I got because my biggest cat, Twinkie, who's a 30-pound Maine Coon, decided he was going to go outside and take a dump, but he had horrific diarrhea, and he was just covered in diarrhea, and trying to restrain a 30-pound cat while you clean the diarrhea off their poopy butt, it's not a fun thing to do. However, I would consider that funner than the Gwent experience right now, especially with what's about to happen in the future. So, he was able to get onto me real hard, all 4 claws at the same time. So, little buddy, he's feeling better now. But damn, he was covered in some poopy diarrhea. Much more enjoyable than this current experience of a video game. Alright. I just need to see the cards that were released during this latest patch. Because this seems like a load of horseshit. I don't know about you. But let's delve into this. So, let me switch back to here so you can actually see the video game. I normally don't drink caffeinated, carbonated beverages on stream, but I've been so low energy today. I drank tapped in my emergency supply of Jolt Cola. Not sponsored, but damn, it's delicious. Not as good as Balls, though. That's my favorite energy drink, but that thing's a pain in the ass to try to get a hold of. I just spilt it everywhere like a fucking clown. It fits the theme of today's stream of just non-stop tragedy that could have been prevented if I wasn't talking while trying to take a fucking sip out of a can of fucking soda. Alright, anyways, I'm not gonna let that get in the way. I'll be sticky while I do this. I'll probably... once the next ad break rolls around, I'll go clean up and that kind of stuff real quick. Alright, so not journey, not reward book. So greedy guy. So they're not even linking to Rogue Mage, are they? They've given up. Draft. My god. Alright, so let's take a look at the new card, shall we? Alright, everything. All. Probably 11s on up are the new ones. And then where is card type ownership? Don't own. And also let's do card type. No. Where's the foils? Ah, here we go. All standard. There we go. Alright. So Dagon's a 14. Because when I was watching Spyro go over this, he was doing his Dagon runs. I watched that whole thing. That was hilarious. So, Dagon's fucking ridiculous. So, Ganymede Provider. So they do evolve in your hand, but unlike every other evolution card that's in this game, such as, let's go to, do I have any right here that I don't own? No, I own all of them. Let's go to premiums. I don't own all the premiums. So, let's say, for example, where is it? Where's one that evolves? I do own a lot of premiums, especially of ones that evolve. Shit. Wait, I don't own the one. Oh, I think I might have her then. The one Druid. The Queen Harmony or whatever. Okay. Let's just do all. Alright. Where's the top ones? Alright, so for example, I know Nilfgaard, yeah. So you got Jacques, you got Usurper. So Jacques starts off as an infant, and then it's round 2, he turns in Jacques de Aldersberg, so his art changes accordingly depending on what phase he's at, and then Jacques the Grand Master is his final form. So these new evolving cards don't even have second card art to them. And they only evolve once. That's some real douchebaggery right there, but we're gonna get into all that in just a moment. Alright, so unowned, go back to standard. So these all technically count as evolving cards because yep. So evolve after you win a round. So you specifically have to win a round in order for it to evolve. But the fact of the matter is it has to win in order to evolve. Everyone throws away round 2. So you're pretty much guaranteed for that. But the card art should fucking change. Not to digress yet. So, Dagon got added. So this one, Harmony, at the end of your turn, boosts all Skulltile units in your hand with primary categories that you don't control by 1. So this goes on with Harmony. You want as many variants as possible in your hand. What is the evolve form? Evolve after you win a round. Boost the low. So this instantly, because they require you to win the first round, instantly encourages the bad behavior that was set up during the Renfrey meta of slam all your golds down in round 1 to overwhelm your opponent in the first round point-wise so that they can't catch up. So this is feeding into the bad behavior of I see gold, I slam gold, the end. Don't think about it, just know if you have the most points, cards go burr. And I got no problem with a chaotic sense of if your combos get pulled off right, you do massive amount of damage. But this is 1 round. And then all your fucking golds add up in like 3 rounds, preventing any type of catch-up unless your opponent is somehow prepared for that. Which it seems like this is just the back and forth of just bullshittery. Because you also had introduced into Northern Realms, Nilfgaard, with how the soldiers got reworked, is if you lose a round, you automatically trigger the 1 battle tactics, and then if it's a soldier, it's even more points in armor. So, and you can only trigger that to be a deploy if you lost some. So, all the bad habits they put, and then you had the fucking swords, you had the neutrals coming in. I mean, it looks like they're finally getting rid of the dependence of neutral cards as much as earlier, but I'm in rank 5. I have no idea what the pro rank looks like, to be fair. I have no idea what any of the other factions look like, but I'd like to think it is, but who knows? People have already probably min-maxed this to the most optimized builds, and it's already probably soulless and just dead on the inside, but rewarding just stupid behavior with rewards more than 50% of the time is no different than just flipping your coin as to whether or not you win that round. And it seems to be that way. You either get red coin or blue coin. And if depending on your faction, if you get red coin, you're fucked. If you get blue coin, you're probably going to win because you're going to be able to outpace your opponent real fucking fast unless it's a specific faction that is able to slam down like a Harmony deck. If they pull off right off the bat their fucking relic, which they can then chuck out the window because they don't care, they don't need it into the things because everything else gets boosted by like 3 points or whatever every goddamn round that passes. And then they nerfed the Witcher cards, so they all have to be either in like different rows to activate, they have to have initiative. I don't know, man. It's fucking stupid. So her evolved form is boost the lowest power allied unit of each unique Skulltile primary category by 2. Whenever you play Skull you don't control, boost it by 2. So let's say this is a long round 3, and you each have 10 cards. That's boosting 9 cards by 2, 8 cards by 4 in total, 7 cards by 6. Do you see the problem with that? And then you already have the other ones that are in Harmony. That's so fucked up. That's real fucking stupid. That's just bullshit. All right, what one's for well, it's Firesworn. I like that. That could go in my Firesworn deck. Let's see. Doom. Boost self by 1 for each unit you control and gain a coin for each Firesworn. When in hand, a deck evolve after you win a round. Evolved. Damage an enemy unit by the number of Firesworn cards on this row. Feed 2. Damage an enemy unit by 1. Okay. Berserk. Boost all allied Firesworn units by 1 and damage all enemy units by 1, then destroy self. How much is Berserk? Equal to or lower than... It doesn't say... Berserk 1. You just need 1 card on the opposing faction to trigger Berserk? Alright. Okay, who's... The Tors, Vars, Emers. Let's look at this dipshit. Okay. Deploy. Give spine to 3 units with provision costs of 10 or less from your opponent's deck. So you can already see what's in your opponent's deck by using this. So you can see what's coming up. So it's like the blue potion card, but it actually works, I suppose, because you don't have to wait for your opponent to have it as well. You just need the card to see into your opponent's hand. Great. Then spawn base copies of them in your deck. Boost self by 1 for each provision below the limit. Alright. So if you pick 3 level 4s, 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 4. So that's 25 right there. Up to 3 cards, when in hand or deck, evolve after you win a round. In the evolve form, return an allied unit to your hand and give it doomed, excluding self, then play a card. So this card is actually better to play if you haven't won a round. So like when I forced my Nilfgaard opponent earlier who was playing this into a long, very costly round 2, their Torres was able to instantly win it because it did turn into like a 25. It lets you see what's in your fucking opponent's deck. It gets boost to a maximum of 25. And it shuffles your opponent's cards into your deck. That's 3 triggers for a round 2 loss. Or a round 1 loss to go into. It's 3. 3. That is some fucking bullshit right there. This is exhausting just to go through. Well, Renfri's dead. We did it, chat. We did it. We finally killed her after 6 months. It's what we were waiting for. Melite. Whenever this unit is put back into your deck, trigger an ability of the cycle. Maiden boost all units by 0. Mother spawn a random 4 provision onto the allied row. Crone, increase other values at the beginning. So this one doesn't evolve? Alright, this one doesn't evolve. Whenever this unit is put back into your deck, you can trigger one of these. Okay, I don't feel like that one's as crazy as the others, but you know. Alright, Keltius, you're not new. What the fuck is this? Lilith's Omen. Summon 2 monster units without Veil from your deck to an allied row, then give them Doomed and Rupture. Summon 2 monster units without Veil from your deck to an allied row. Give them Doomed and Rupture. I don't know what that would synergize with. Alright, new location. Doomed, immune. Oh, and this evolves after you win a round. Oh, great. The locations are evolving now. Alright, cool. Create a legendary unit from your faction that is not in your starting deck 3 times. Then shuffle them into your deck. Draw a unit of your choice and boost it by your hand size. then shuffle a card back to your deck. Evolved. Shuffle an allied unit back to your deck, then shuffle an enemy unit of the same power or less back into your opponent's deck. Play the shuffled unit from your deck. I feel like I'm just getting stupider. Oh, I went past Querxix. Harmony. Whenever you play another relic, spawn and play Lockfear and Converge. Create a bronze skull tile unit with primary. Sure. Sure, why not? So you got Querxis and you got the other one to go hand in hand. Great. Count revenues treasures. This one has resilience, but it's not. Yo! Babelox. What up? Hey, hey, hey. I'm going over the cards. I just went through a marathon of trying to play LOL bear meta because Sparky redeemed it. Now I'm actually going over the new cards that got released, and then I'm going to be talking about the actual, the whole situation surrounding the current state of affairs and future of Gwent by CDPR's, decisions. Alright, so count revenues, treasures, resilience, profit 0, so how many resilient fucking relics so that's not resilient, but fucking pirates, the one skull, that one has resilience for them. Nice, glad I didn't know. I've been waiting. I know when the Gwent crowd comes around. It's usually after 5 in the morning, so it's 4:50 right now, so buckle on up. It's gonna be a ride. Resilience, profit 0, increase the profit by 1 for each crime in your starting deck. Okay. Deploy, create a bronze crime with provisions equal or less to the excess. This is so double talked. You go cross-eyed until you finally see it in the game and you're like, wow, that was easy. Why do you have to put so many fucking different phrases in to activate it? And it's like, wow, card goes down, card go burr, the end. Rank 5 has configured this out. Whenever you gain coins, gain counters equal to excess amount gained. At the end of your turn, lower that counter by 1, gain a coin. Okay, cool. Alright, what's this? Arnfjorn. Resilience. Look at the top 2 cards from your deck and choose one to move to the bottom. If it was an agent, give an enemy unit spying. If it was an aristocrat, give an enemy unit bleeding. Whenever you play an aristocrat, refresh the order. Whenever you play an aristocrat, refresh the order. So constantly gives out bleeding. But what about if you keep... What about when you put spies down? While on deck, when you play a gold aristocrat, summon self to your melee weapon. Oh, this summons itself? This is a really good fucking roach for Nilfy Bilfy? Cool. I love it. It's great. This is fine. Alright, anything new here in 10? Nope. Anything new here in 9? Nope. Anything in 8? Nope. 7? Nope. Actually, 7? Okay, I just don't have that guy. Nope. No bronzes, huh? This was the gold fucking Olympics, eh? Cool. Great. Love it. Wonderful. Oh my god. Oh, and they did rework Renfrey. Let me see what they did to her. Boy, she really was the problem of this game, huh? She's still a 14. Is at least 25, that's the same. Didn't they Curse of... Which one did they? I have no fucking idea. Damage all enemy units by 1. Spawn a base copy of an enemy. That's the same. Yeah. Yeah. And blessings. This all looks the same. I thought they nerfed her. This looks exactly the fucking same. I don't know, maybe I've just gone crazy, but that doesn't look very different to me. But Jesus H. Christ. These instant wham bam slam fucking evolving relics. Oh yeah, where's that fucking where's the Skelliger? I somehow went over him. The new one. Where is he? The evolved cards don't even have second art for their evolved forms. You hate to see it. You really do. I'll just go to Skelliger. Okay, here he is. So what does this fucker do? Damage your enemy unit by the difference between its base and current power. Gain resilience. When in hand, evolve after you win a round. Move a bronze Skelliger unit from your graveyard to your hand, then discard a card. The first time a bronze unit leaves your graveyard, each ally turn, boost it by its base power. Wow. Okay, no wonder I was going against fucking 16 plus warriors in that one game. Oh, let's have a laugh, guys. Let's see how Geralt's doing. I hope Geralt's doing fine. Oh, Witcher. Jeez, I sure hope the Witchers aren't, you know, nerfed into the ground in the Witcher-based video game. What's that? Geralt Yrden? Deploy melee, reset the power of all units on a row. Adrenaline 2, reset the power of all units on an allied row instead. Why would you... This and Regis? This right here is still, to this day, I gotta say, after all these years of playing this game, one of the stupidest fucking nerfs I've ever seen in my life. It's a 12 card with a 3 value, and you have to have initiative in order to make it valuable. So you can't set up any combos. They instantly... The cards that discourage actual thought out combos that you can lay out in advance compared to the wham bam slam cards of I play gold, it go burr, have zero thought, it plays like 3 cards instantly, you go lull, GG easy, 150 to like to 20, you know. But the cards that actually do require setup and strategy are the ones that get fucking punished. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they think that's a good way to balance things. Because again, rent-free, the problem with that meta, especially for 6 months, is use your leader ability at any time. Don't even give a fuck. Slam her down. Boom. And then you get to do, you know, you just get to play like a jackass. Because there's a difference between being skilled, having fun, and still wanting to shake things up again. You can have all 3 of those at the same time. You don't have to pick out of them. People on the lower ladder can still have fun, while the professionals, you know, completely min-max their decks to be the most efficient as possible. But because this was a problem I always had with TF2, and why TF2 ended up being in the state that it is today, is too many people with a loud voice who everyone looked up to in the pro circuit, you know, were like, oh, everything's unbalanced, it's not, you know, worth it for the tournaments and all that kind of shit. It's like, bitch, it's TF2. You fucking, you eat a sandwich and you eat your health as a heavy. You got fucking boxing gloves that make people taunt, and you murder them with your invisible handgun. It's a video game, alright? Gotta calm it down. And then Valve listened to them and put in a rank system in their game mode, and no one plays it. And they still use the community, you know, tournaments in order to keep it alive. So, the point is, you need to listen to the top players as equally as you do the normal players. And you have to have a healthy balance. But the thing that CDPR doesn't seem to do is listen to anyone. Not even the pro players, and not even the fucking just the casual players. They're not listening to fucking anyone. They're just like, fuck it, this seems like it's doing fine. Just put it in. Just fucking put it in. It's like, do you know how many cards are in this game that could actually use balance? Like, I wouldn't even care if they never put another card into this game ever again. Wink, 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 wink. Foreshadowing is a strategic metaphor right there. It's a narrative tactic. So if they never put another card in this game again, they could technically just constantly rebalance this game for as long as they want, for as long as there's a player base, instead of waiting 6 months to do anything about it in a fucking stale meta that no one enjoys. And the artwork's beautiful. I miss playing some of the cards. Like, my favorite card, again, because of sentimental reasons, is the foil version. My very first foil I was able to open up was Old Spear Tip. But he's practically useless in most metas at this point to play. And it's like, wow, the cards that I, actually like, fuck him, I guess. If it looked, because again, the artwork in this game is can't be touched by anyone else. Even though a lot of these artists do work for other card games, the art direction specifically for Gwent is different from, say, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Marvel Snap. They all have different art directors who are in charge of the overall theme and styling of the game. Also, I just noticed this froze, so let's make sure I'm still talking. It says I'm still going. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's going. I know exactly where I left off. Don't underestimate this. Internet, I believe in you. Maybe I don't believe in the internet. Maybe it's full of shit and it's letting me down. Oh, I know what happened. Hold on. I just gotta refresh the whole dashboard. Can't believe I spilled fucking soda all over me. I wonder if I'm gonna spill it again while I keep talking and trying to drink at the same time. I learned my lesson. Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, my internet is just being a fucking cunt. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna say it's okay. So we're synced up, we're all good. Alright. So, the art direction for Gwent is to look like this specific style. Now, the artists have to follow the themes and all that is given to them for the direct, and it's fucking gorgeous. It's absolutely amazing that they were able to get the talent that they got in order to make this game. They're all so fucking talented, and the fact that even the most basic, useless bronze cards look like they're top tier because of how good the art quality is very insulting to the artists to not have their work seen after putting in all of that fucking time and effort to be a shit tier card. And I find that insulting. So, fucking take the cards that you have, balance them out, fucking do, mix things up like they used to, because that's what they did. All the way, I would say, all the way up, and the last good, real major piece of additional cards for this game was probably Crow Mother, the cultist for Savage Blood. That was a really good fucking update and expansion pack as it was. That was great. After that, they went fucking crazy. How many fucking statuses in different card categories do you need just for Nilfgaard alone? It's gotten to the point where the same problem I have with Magic the Gathering is it's overly complicated just for the sake of being overly complicated. Once you start getting into double talk just to describe a card's ability, and all it does is it ends up summoning tokens and doing 2 damage, that's a load of horse shit. Alright? You don't need to jump through that many hoops to activate a card or understand what it does. That's just some straight up shit. And you can't convince me it's not. It's just poor planning. it's trying to look more complicated than it needs to be for the sake of saving face. Whereas when I first started playing Gwent, again back on the PlayStation 4 when it used to be on console, it was alluring and intriguing and fun and exciting to play a game that had no mana. You could basically mix things up as much as you want, but the leader abilities and the factions were very unique and specific to their type. So yeah, you could use some, the neutrals here and there, but the main draw was what the factions could do. So you didn't have to worry about mana. You still had to play smart. If you played like a jackass, you usually got punished until you learned, hey, stop doing that. But you could still have fun and be creative. I could see different decks, even with the limited amount of cards that they had, because I started playing the game before even Syndicate was released. Before Syndicate was released, there was only the base game of, I think since, it may have had a few updates after it was launched out of beta, but I never played the beta. And I never played it in The Witcher 3, because I've never played The Witcher 3. So even with the cards that you had back in the early days of like 2018, you could still be creative. You didn't always see every single fucking card or every single deck or anything like that, even while climbing up the ladder starting at 30 and making my way all the way up to pro. It was just fun. It was just fun to see what type of combos and what worked and what types of things were the weaker and stronger builds, and learning how the framework works. It's like, oh, well, you have Consume, you have Thrive, you have Bleed, you have Poison. Actually, I don't think Poison was put into the game yet. That was introduced with, well, no, there might have been some Poison, but it wasn't as much. Don't count me on that. But there were like, you had the spying units for Nilfgaard. You had immunity, because the werewolves had immunity, all that kind of stuff. So, like, there was just a good amount, and most of the categories didn't overlap one another. Like, Thrive was specifically for monsters. Now you have Harmony for elves, which is pretty much Thrive, except with different things. So, it's getting much more muddled. It's being to the point where every deck is the same, regardless of the faction. And that's just fucking stupid. That's just fucking boring. Why would you want to play every single game over and over as the same thing when there's so much creativity backing this game and it gets thrown out the window for no goddamn reason because they don't want to actually make the game intriguing without adding and putting the work into it? It's so fucking disappointing and frustrating. And the thing is, it wouldn't have been as pissed-offing. Like, I wouldn't be as pissed off as I am right now, even with what's going to be happening in the future with this game, if it wasn't for the fact that they then added in the Journey battle passes. Because then you're being held fucking hostage to complete this fucking dumb bullshit that you paid your entry fee to get into. And it's like, well, I paid money for this. I gotta get the stuff. If I don't get the stuff, I feel like I was cheated, bamboozled. And it's like, so you had to do an arbitrary another 175 levels. You gotta do this. And also, we're only gonna give you, not just for each journey in Battle Pass, but in total, we're only gonna give you 3 boosts for a total of like 6 experience points on the fucking journey path once a week. So every Monday, it's time to play your Gwent, dear. All right, dear. It's baffling. And then Draft has been a complete and total absolute failure and a disappointment. Even when it was mirror mode, it wasn't good. This has always been wrong, and it didn't have to be. So I think we're at the point where, considering how small this update was and the cards that they put in are just, they are what they are. You can't argue what they are. It's just clear that you have to play them if you, want a chance at doing anything. Because even at rank 5, boom, you get a fucking Nilfgaard card worth 25 as soon as it's slammed down. Whoopsie doodles. But Renfrey really needed to be nerfed. I'm gonna go real quick clean up the soda I spilled on me like 15 minutes ago. Gonna run an ad break again for those of you who aren't subscribed. Jeff Bezos time for a little bit. Once I come back, we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this stream. So I sure hope you stick around for that. It's about to get real fucking spicy. It would help if I unmuted the microphone. Anyways, I'm back. So I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's pretty much exactly what I said anyways. Alright. So now that I am no longer a sticky hot mess, unlike this game, let me refresh this one more time just to make sure. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all enjoying the quiet before the storm. For me, in a quite literal sense, because the snow should be coming down any minute now. Gonna be hit by a nor'easterner. It's gonna be rough. Alright. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Alright. So let's get into this. So the reason why I'm doing this stream at all, instead of an update stream that I've been promising to do ever since, you know, with my medical stuff, this has to come first. This rage ever since the roadmap of Gwent got released for, what was it, last Sunday? It's been like a whole week to sink in. The writing was on the wall, of course, but it's nonetheless any less infuriating because you just keep screaming at people to just be competent, and I guess that's just not enough. So anyways, it is now December 11th, 2022, and last week the update came out from the developers patch of the cards that just got released, which you're seeing go across the screen like Dagon and all that. But the roadmap for the Journey of Gwent's future also got released. So 2023, no new journeys, only 2 Grandmaster Championships, and then CDPR is done. They're done with Gwent. They're releasing it to the gamers. How kind of them. So in essence, Gwent is going to be shutting down. And I'll get into that more in depth later, trust me. It ain't lasting. And there's several reasons why. Regardless of how popular it is or fans or the community wants to keep it alive. It's not going to last. Do not trust them on this. And I'm going to tell you exactly fucking why. There are so many factors and they're all going to happen. And I'm claiming it right now. You heard it first on this stream. I can't help it if I'm always right. Don't shoot the fucking messenger. Shoot the people who don't know how to run their own fucking multi-million-dollar company. So, Gwent is effectively dead on arrival. And again, I've always been a casual player who's good at it. It's great to just play the game. When I first got into the game, it's because it was fun. It was fun. And when it wasn't fun because the metas got stale or got stupid or dumb, just don't play. Wait for the next patch to hopefully make sure that it's fun again and spice it up. And it usually did. Then you come back to Gwent, you grind it a whole bunch, and then it's a whole bunch of fun until it's not fun again. It goes on cycles, as it has to be, in order to figure out what works and what doesn't work. But lately, since Cyberpunk 2077 got released as a fucking disaster, I cannot overemphasize this more than I have for all this time, is that they committed fraud to their shareholders about lying on profits. They forced their workers into crunch. They took resources from their other projects in order to fund it. It was fucking buggy ass broken mess. I don't care what its current state of affair is, whatever time it is that you're watching this now, whether it's right now in 2022 or 50 years from now in, 2072. It's 2077. I mean, you could be playing Cyberpunk 2077 in 2077. Who knows? If mankind's still around, it's possible. But the fact is, on its launch, CD Projekt Red fucking put themselves into a hole, and there's no way they can get out without sacrifices. And unfortunately, it seems like the top execs don't want to take pay cuts. They want to cut other people and blame them for everything. So instead of, and I've made this comparison before, Dark Souls 2 was also released as a fucking complete shit show. Now, in the year 2022, it's good to play. It's a well-balanced, fun game that people enjoy. I remember the launch of Dark Souls 2. It was a fucking clusterfuck. But FromSoft learned from their failures. They learned not to overhype their games. They learned to make sure that their games speak for themselves, content. So failure is good to ground people every now and then to be reminded of. At that time, FromSoft thought and felt like that they were unstoppable, untouchable, because they were the new hot thing on trend. They were the Dark Souls. They were the get good guys. You died, LOL, get good. And then CDPR had The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2, which gained a great underground following until it became mainstream with The Witcher 3, and their egos got to their head just like with Dark Souls 2. Unfortunately, by doing Cyberpunk 2077 the way they did, they just kept doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. They had no humility. They couldn't accept with grace that they made mistakes and they'd be responsible. And so what they're doing now is they're throwing their entire company under the fucking bus, including their employees, including anyone who works there who isn't in the top CEO board. And I've been saying this for years. But now it's finally coming to fruition. Because the first big sign that Gwent was going to be in trouble was they had just started the journeys, the battle passes, right before Cyberpunk was released. And all of those had stories written, full novels, great details, and new journeys that their fantastic writing staff came up with. They were allowed to just be creative with Geralt and Dandelion. Alzur's fucking journey was fantastic. It was just Also, Siri, that was a recap of things, but still told in an original and heartfelt way that really hits you at the end, like in the feels. But as soon as Yennefer and Triss's came out, and they didn't even have anything written for them, they were just fucking place cards of really well done placeholding art. But the fact that those two very important characters in the Witcher lore had their journey so stripped and bare bones was not a good sign, because that means they weren't paying the artists that they needed to, the writers that they needed to. I think that was also around the time when the Witcher expansion came out, where if you specifically look, I'm gonna show this game because I'm always gonna fucking show this. Well, this is the journey, so I guess I'm not showing it. So if you go into the deck builder and you look up, actually that was one of the cards right there. Witcher. So let's compare an old Geralt card. Geralt of Rivia. That's a finished card. Even in its non-premium forward, that is a finished, high-polished, well-made card right there. The artwork is spectacular. If you go over to the Griffin Witcher, which is... where is he? Where is that son of a bitch? Well, he's definitely a gold. Where is he? You ever just get so angry that you can't look at anything? Oh, it's actually the Griffin. It's the Griffin card. The Witcher's just in it. Here we go. Arch Griffin. Yep, animation's fine. Looks good. They actually patched this, it looked like. Some of the trees isn't as polished as it was. But there are parts of the Griffin that just aren't finished and as refined as the others. This background, not done. Trees, not done. A lot of the texture and the fur on them isn't done. The Witchers who did get released had such bare bones backgrounds. Like Gearzus, it's a gray void with detail around it. That's all you were getting. Herald of, like, again, simple geometric shapes, still looks nice. The artist was able to complete the job that they were supposed to do. Oh, that's why okay, so with the Griffin, it's when it's the place card holder for the menu, when it's doing the transition. This right here, the card you're seeing right there, is what would be considered the safety box, the border for a piece of work. Aspect ratio is usually used, people are familiar with it in TV terms, so, you know, the 16:1 ratio and, you know, the 4:6 and all that kind of stuff. So, 720 by 480p or 1080 or 1920 by 1080p. I'm sorry, numbers right now are escaping me, eluding me. But you either have high def or standard definition. And when you have standard definition, it's a box. When you have HD, it's bigger. But even in HD, you have to make sure it fits in standard definition so that the important things don't get cut off, and you usually do letterboxing. The Archgriffins, when it's expanded out to be a full-res wallpaper background to overlay when it's a card, the rest of the background that you don't see in the actual card is not finished. So, if it ever does a transition like that, pay attention to it. So a lot of these cards, on things where you're not supposed to see the rest of it, got rushed into oblivion. They didn't fucking care. They just had to get it out because they were already getting funds taken away from them by the fiasco that was fucking goddamn Cyberpunk 2077. So if you notice, all the Witchers pre the Witcher fucking update have actual, like, the closest one, Cohen, looks like it probably was done before any of this, because it's very close to Ox. Ox has the dynamic, different with the blues and the reds to highlight it, but there's people. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But, I mean, it's fucking crazy to imagine that the main aspect of a card game is, of course, the artwork and how it plays, and that they would just, there you go, boom, right there. How that griffin right there, both sides of it after it's cropped out, not finished. And there's a lot of other things like that came out where they had to take shortcuts because they were over budget and they were running out of time. So not only were they on crunch, they were forcing their artists to get things done on a very tight schedule, which is crunch, and also probably underpaying them for said work. I'm assuming. It's funny how... there we go. We got the card right there. Speak of the devil. So, those were the first signs of danger, danger. Something is going to go terribly wrong unless we, fix this. And again, Gwent, I started playing on console, PlayStation 4. And I was on it for till 2019, so I was on there for at least a year and a half. And then CDPR decided not to renew their contracts with Sony or Xbox because they weren't making enough money to validate it, and they were going to start doing mobile anyway. So they wanted to get their product out on mobile in order to get as much money as they could, which I can't doubt them. But the thing is, the best quality about Gwent is the fact that it was never a pay-to-win system. The vast majority of this game, I've given no money to in my playtime. I got so many hours in this fucking game, hundreds and hundreds of hours, and the only things I've bought are the journeys, which should have been, because last year for 2022 they had no new journeys, so I can't give them more money for journeys I can't buy. So all of these are one-time paying things, and that's all I'm getting. They're not releasing any new journeys, so someone like me who only needs cosmetics or journeys, you already lost me as a customer. And then, so they could still be generous with their gameplay and how it rewards you with the cards and decks and stuff like that. But the main fundamental problem that they've had in order to be revenue producing is the fact that their meteorite powder, completely fucking worthless. How much is this Iridan, son of a bitch? $5. Cool. I didn't even look at the shop yet for what it is. So I already own all this stuff with meteorite powder, so it's like, well, I don't need anything else. I don't care. And honest to God, paying $2 for these antlers, I have no problem with it. It's just that I don't want it, but it's actually a pretty good deal. I can't downplay it for what it is. But the fact that, but I already have all this shit. I'm gonna buy it just because I have all this stuff. I'm just getting it out of the way. Done. There we go. Says, okay, buy it. Wow, I can finally spend my meteorite powder. It's great. Next. Uh-huh. There we go. Boy, oh boy. That sure was a time. So, the meteorite powder is absolutely worthless, and I can feel like this being the big shiny thing probably does trick people instantly into buying it. And how much is this worthless fucking garbage? $3 for 500. 16,500 for $50. I have $100 worth of meteorite powder. I've had $100 worth of meteorite powder for fucking 6 years. So it's so fucking dumb. And then card kegs are decently priced for what it is. Curse toad keg? Okay, well this is... So if you want to buy your foils right off the bat, go for it. Though, again, ore is good for crafting them too. So I again, if you want to spend a couple bucks to get your kegs, play the game first to see what type of faction you like, even though now it doesn't really matter. This is old advice I'd give people, is to get used to just playing the game with the starter decks and feel which factions feel more natural to your playstyle, and then if, say, like monsters, you like monsters, then just invest into monster kegs. That I have no problem with. That's a good fucking consumable to buy at the shop. Monetization. Meteor powder is just complete bullshit. Like, it's so stupid. So your main thing that you want to do is ornaments, but not just ornaments. You want fucking battle passes. And it took them far too long to pull the trigger on that decision, and it couldn't get them out of the hole that their fucking higher ups put them into. And the thing that should have been their moneymaker, I'm going to show it to you right now. The thing that should have been their moneymaker is draft. 100%. This could have been the most lucrative part of Gwent for CDPR to make. And they just threw it away. Because draft, you can only play if you either have the consumables or you pay money right off the bat. Let's go into there. Let's showcase this fucking nightmare realm. This has always bothered me since the start. So 3 keys, 150 or $2. All of those are each equally fair to get in to play a game of draft, if it was a good game mode. And this is what could have saved Gwent. Is clearly you have ranked mode, you have casual mode, which is now considered training in the base game, which is the stupidest thing they ever did, was putting the fucking casual mode as training and not ranked. Or just normal play, and then they used to have it where you checked as casual or ranked. That was easy. No one was fucking confused by that system. People are confused by draft. So, what they should have done, and I don't understand how companies like this, or even Activision Blizzard with Overwatch, when it comes to, professional ranked games, where people want tournament-style rules, which is, if I'm paying money or consumables to have a more top-tier experience, something even surpassing ranked, like an actual tournament where you pay money in and you win, fucking like, say, cosmetics or something like that, then it's not gambling, because you get around the fact that you're just winning the fucking digital token and not actual prize money pool, and then you can have your actual main tournaments and stuff like that, because in their tournaments, you can do drafting, in the sense of your opponents and you pick 3 factions, okay? So you can pick, like, say someone picks Skelliger, Nilfgaard, Monsters, alright? Well, then you and your opponent goes back and forth as to what cards you want to ban or allow. And if you're already willing to pay money to go through this experience, the person wants that experience to be done right. And I know that's why they didn't want to do that, is because they thought it was probably too complicated. The average player wouldn't want that. The fucking whales would have. And I hate to use that term, but I would have done that. I would have been a fucking whale in Gwent. But they didn't give me the experience I wanted, and they didn't get my money, because they didn't offer me, the consumer, the customer, what I was willing to pay for. I would have loved a separate game mode outside of ranked, where 2 people can do a 3-game tournament in order to win, like, a big avatar or cosmetic, outfit, card, emote, whatever. It could have been something that was fun, had stakes, was absolutely skill-based, and had the bar raised higher to keep out the fucking meme lords. That right there would have solved it. Instead, they let the community run their tournaments, which is fine. You should always allow the community to have some type of control when it comes to local tournaments or local servers or stuff like that. That's fine. But when you're the company who wants to make money and you say, no, we don't want to do the thing that you want to pay money for, it drives me fucking crazy. What would have been wrong about having a 3-game setup. I mean, it could also be a pause type situation, like say, because this happens like in chess matches, in a lot of the mobile app chess matches that I play. Say someone makes a move and then they leave, and you don't play until you the next person plays, and if after like 7 to 14 days they forfeit the match without making a move, but you can play other games at the same time. You're not just limited to the one game. So you could do several tournaments at once. Maybe have like a cap of like 10 going at once so that people aren't, overwhelmed. And then after like 7 days, if your opponent hasn't made a thing, that's fine. Because Gwent wasn't reliant on it's a turn-based strategy. You can do that. You can pause the game. But oh no, our opponent could probably just, watch it and all that kind of. It's got to be time. It's like there were so many ways they could have turned this into a viable source of income, and they spit in its face every single fucking time. They never got my money from this mode, not once. They got my money through Gascoigne and the journeys. I didn't, and also I bought the Shoop skin. I was going to buy Gaunter, but I don't think I will now. And I bought Thronebreaker because Gwent was so good. I was like, damn, this looks amazing, and it was. And then I bought Rogue Mage, and I have not been less. I'm still pissed off about that game to this very end because of the credits. And we're gonna get to that as well. Get out of here. Exit. Don't quit. Just exit. See how this whole portrait is completed compared to the Griffin Witcher thing? Wow, that's crazy how they let their artists have time to create a full illustration that is, high def and fully polished, and, it's crazy how that works. So, Gwent has dropped the ball on the monetization thing. They were always good and fair when it came to actually unlocking the playable aspects of the game, but dear God, they wanted to be mobile. They wanted to go after the mobile market. I don't know how much money they were making off of the game when they're only allowing you to buy a season pass once, and most people can just get the cards as is, and they're not offering you a premium experience of Gwent for a small price. That was the dumbest move they've ever made. So they were just set up to fail from the inside out. Their infrastructure for being a reliable source of income was just uniquely flawed, because the people who are willing to give you the money, if they don't have anything to buy, they can't buy it, and they won't buy it. And then I just end up with a whole bunch of worthless fucking in-game consumables and in-game. I'm gonna think of the word in-game, not just consumables, but in-game. Currency. There we go. I remembered what currency was. Good for me. I did it. Listen, I'm 33. I'm getting old, all right? The dementia's really kicking in, and the anger's blinding me, all right? I'm doing the best that I can. So, there's nothing in here, because I could unlock everything in the deck, all the premiums, everything. I just don't care. I just buy the cards, not buy, but craft the cards that are for the meta, and it's like, okay, cool. Good. That's it. That's all I had to do. And then I get to play a game that I fucking hate, because it's just constantly being dumbed down and yet overcomplicated and just homogenized to take away any uniqueness that could have been had in the game that it used to have. It just got stripped down. I don't know why. I really don't. So, the monetization aspect of Gwent was fucked ever since they decided to not make draft a viable source of income, to not have constant new journeys to buy outside of the main first 12. Because once the sources got taken away from the Gwent team and it got shrunk and it got crunched even more and outsourced to third developer studios in Southeast Asia, which is how Gwent Rogue Mage was made, is they underpaid Indonesian and Filipino and fucking Vietnamese and all the Southeast Asian artists who have more skill than any of those fucking CEOs, but they're making literal pennies on the American dollar for the same price as a professional. But, you know, that's fine. Whatever. Cut the corners you need in order to get your shitty UI fucking game out, I suppose. I'm still so mad about that. But then the other signs started to pop up where it's just like, this is just going to get worse and worse. The reveal of the fact that The Witcher 4 was going into development. Obviously, they have to go back to something that they are used to while they're still trying to fix Cyberpunk. They have to go back to their moneymaker, which is the Witcher series as in the actual RPG, the one that people, the premium AAA game experience, their workhorse to keep them going. And so The Witcher 4 got announced, which is going to be a completely original CDPR game with, I don't think, too much taken off from the book series. So, I mean, they clearly have writers who know what they're doing. I don't know if they still have those writers. I don't know if they still work for them. I really don't, because there's been a lot of layoffs, and we'll get to that too. But the thing is, when they announced The Witcher 4, and also they're introducing a new Witcher school, which is going to be the School of the Lynx. I don't know why if they're going to make up a new Witcher school, either do Dragon or delve more into Manticore. I don't know. I'm not the one calling the shots. I'm just the one rolling my eyes and just getting a fucking headache about the decisions of people who have way too much money and power and really don't know how to use it. So that got announced, but the big thing besides the actual announcement of the new game was the fact that they're not going to be making their games, the Witcher games, on the Witcher engine. They're going to Unreal. And there's only one reason I can really think of as to why they would be a part of the Unreal Engine, thing after they just made their own in-house engine that was running completely fine. If they had just programmed and coded Cyberpunk to be better and, given it another year or two before release, it would have looked great. It would have been fine, because they're still running it on the Witcher engine, and they're fixing it, and people are having a good time, apparently, but they're going to Unreal. Tencent's gonna buy this fucking bitch. They're gonna get Omnicron by Tencent. I'm calling it right now, because the amount of debt they probably took on as a company with the false advertising to shareholders as to what they would make on profits from Cyberpunk. I think they might be in too much debt, and they still have lawsuits against them, and they pissed off Sony. I think their last resort is to get absorbed by Tencent, aka Epic Games. And I'm calling that right now. I think in 2024, CDPR, as you know it, will be a subsidiary of Tencent / Epic Games. GOG itself will be absorbed, and it will be either an offshoot of the Epic Games Store, or it'll be completely dissolved as is. I think the vast majority of their employees are going to be laid off. They're going to be replaced with either a few of the old, higher ups will probably stay around and do the art direction as is, but they're gonna just fucking outsource this to third party studios. They've already proven that they have no problems doing that for other Witcher games. And it's just gonna get worse from there, because Tencent will just cheapen it out even more just to get the product out. So the CEOs are going to make a payday. They're going to get bought out. They're going to make millions and face zero repercussions. The CDPR is going to be just another notch in the belt of an even bigger multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. And anything that doesn't make them millions of dollars, that fat's getting trimmed. There's going to be no creativity. And when I told you guys years and years ago, we're never getting another Thronebreaker game, sadly, I think I'm very right. Cause the thing is, now that it's clear that they weren't satisfied with just being beloved for things that they're good at and by the fans that they have acquired over the years from their actual work, and they wanted everything. They wanted the world. And they were willing to gamble and sacrifice that. And it didn't pay off. Now they gotta do what they gotta do in order to quote unquote survive. AKA the captains are gonna be leaving the ship and it's gonna sink. And they don't give a shit because the other Witcher game that's out, that's a mobile game, that's already getting massive layoffs. The Witcher, the Gwent's team's been completely, like, stripped in order to work on The Witcher 4. So I have a feeling all the employees who are going to be working on The Witcher 4 right now, right before The Witcher 4 gets released, Tencent will acquire, or absorb, acquire CDPR, they'll all get fired. They'll all get fired right before the main release, and they'll get nothing in bonuses for their work. I'm calling this right now. I'm fucking predicting this. If anyone's going to buy CDPR, it's gonna be Tencent. And the thing is, neither of those companies are American, so they don't have to go through the licenses of the NFTs, the FTC here in America. Because here in America, Microsoft and Activision are both registered as American-based businesses and companies. Therefore, they had to follow the laws of American companies and regulations. And Microsoft wants to buy Activision Blizzard for an exorbitant amount of money. And the FTC saying, no, this would be a monopoly. We're trying to block it. We'll see you in court. Now, I don't know what the rules are in Poland or China when it comes to acquiring each other's business. I don't think it's going to be as strict as American laws, and I feel like it's going to be very fluid and easy to do. So money's going to grease the palms and say la vie, and then everyone will forget about it because The Witcher 4 came out, and wow, would you look at that? The Witcher 4 sure is a video game. I wonder if Gwent's going to be in it. So, they're moving to the Unreal Engine. They're, the rats are fucking abandoning ship. And those rats got a lot of money on them. They're taking as much as they can before they leave everyone high and dry. And the other thing, so the roadmap just got released. They're saying that 2024 is going to be the last year of any major updates. No new cards after that. No tournaments. 2023 is going to be the last year of pro Gwent players. So at least they gave all the pro players a year to go look for new jobs at playing other games professionally. Thanks. You gave more of a leeway and a heads up to laying off the esports players than you did your actual fucking employees. They get 2 weeks notice, not a full year. Gotta save face though. You gotta make sure that everything looks fine to the people who actually have a loud platform to speak of and not the employees you extort. Great. Love it. So, there's going to be no new content made for Gwent. It's dead. It's done. The lights are getting turned off in 2024. Nothing's going to change this. I don't care what they promise or say. They might say that this is going to be open source and left to the community. It's full of shit. I'm going to explain why. So, when they shut down the PlayStation and Xbox servers of Gwent, you can't play it, really? Even versus... Well, you can play the AI in it. Not so much the multiplayer. So the multiplayer's dead, because you can't make custom servers for Gwent. You can't do... you can't update the game or anything from the patch it last one. I've never even opened it since the last time. So this is why I'm going to assume, I'm going to make a hell of an assumption that I'm 99% sure is going to happen, is they might, for the year of 2024, keep the official servers running so that the game can open. Gwent's an online experience. You have to be online all the time to even open up the game and to take a look at your inventory and everything that you have. So if you're not connected to the official servers, it won't load the game. So if the official servers ever shut down, cool, it's in the community's hands. You can't get any of the card artwork, you can't get any of your cosmetics, you can't get any of your resources, you can't get nothing. It's worthless. It's just taking up fucking installed data on your hard drive. If the server shut down and you can't access a live service feature, which is to constantly be online, you can't play the game. It's physically impossible to play the fucking game. I know with Valve, because they've had plenty of Dota themed one-offs that have failed miserably, including Artifact and Underbosses or whatever the fuck that auto chess thing was called. But Steam has always allowed open source to be a part of its games. It was never, you need to be online to actually play the game. There was always AI, there's always choices for LAN connections, stuff like that. Even with their modern day games, Valve's always been open to open source. They 100% believe in it. And so, I could actually, theoretically, play a game of Artifact right now against another human being. It's possible. It's not going to happen, but it's possible. Because they do have official Valve servers, but you can also make your own custom servers, and you can invite a friend to play the actual game through the servers. I don't think CDPR is going to do that, because this is the problem with modern day quote-unquote anti-cheating methods of always constantly being online in multiplayer games, and even single-player games, is if the servers shut down, this is the same thinking and fundamentally of cryptocurrency, so keep that in the back of the mind. If the servers ever go down, you can't access the things that are technically yours. You can't access them. They were never yours to exist. I invested heavily in the TF2 economics, the hats, if you would, the weapons, all that stuff, and other items, the trading cards for Steam. And those still have value, regardless of whether or not the game is popular right now, because I can always access those games. Even if the TF2 servers go down, I can launch the game physically through Steam. Now, if Steam ever goes down, then you have a problem, but at that point, you have bigger problems, because that means Steam's fucking dead, and that's the ultimate end thing. So everything that's digital is always at risk of not existing, because there is no hard copy to it. Some are a bit more fail-proof than others, like the Steam method compared to the CDPR method, which if all of the official servers go down, you're not going to be able to access your game. This was highlighted the last time I actually streamed Gwent, where I couldn't even launch the fucking game because the servers were down for like a goddamn half hour. So if you can't play the game offline, how do you expect the community to run the game when they can't access the fucking game? I realized that within 5 minutes of thinking about the upcoming situation. It was just boom, right there on the forefront of my thought is, wait, if they're not going to support this game and it's an online service game, how do you play the game if there's no official support? You don't. But, Reddit's gonna be able to carry this thing without a budget. It's gonna be fine, don't question it. So this brings me to my main counterpoint of why even continue playing Gwent when you already know the future is here's the road you're on, here's the cliff. Do you want to go all the way to the cliff? And in comparison, let's say Fall Guys. I knew I was going to stop playing Fall Guys after Fall Guys Mediatonic transferred from Devolver Digital over to Epic Games, aka Tencent, because I refused to get an Epic Games account because the terms of service for that fucking game launcher I do not agree with. They don't need that much information on a single human being to play a fucking bean game, okay? I don't agree with the TOS, and when I don't agree with TOSs, I don't sign them. I don't partake in them. So, I will never play anything that is Epic Games. So, I had a window of opportunity to play Fall Guys and have fun with it and acknowledge this is the last time I play Fall Guys. And I had a great time. It was saying goodbye to something that was a flash in the pan, but I had a great time doing it. And then I moved on. But the thing is with Gwent, it hasn't been a fun experience for a long time. There's no point in grinding out these fucking cosmetics and bullshit because you're not going to have access to them. It's not going to be around. And the game isn't worth playing. It's just dead. They killed it last Monday, and it's been dead to me for almost a year at this point, so I just don't even care. So, for example, today during the stream, I was able to get these 3 crowns. Great. Wow. Oh, I was able to progress these quests. Great. Oh, I got these journeys to finish. I don't care. You've already... I mean, I'm glad that they give warning to the community about everything, but by doing so, they also completely demotivated me playing the game even for the year that they have. Because there's going to be nothing new for me to buy or do. It's just going to be this. What this is now. They say they're going to balance it. I call fucking bullshit. There's only going to be like 6 more cards added to the game for like an entire year, which I'm fine with, but they won't balance it because they're already cutting corners and cutting costs. I mean, they didn't even commission the artist to do a second illustration of Evolve cards, and I think there were 8 cards for this patch, and that's real bad. That's so fucking just messed up if you think about it, that they couldn't even afford illustrations to... So instead of paying illustrators to make 16 cards because they're evolved, they paid them once to get a card that does twice. And that's not even considering the fact that they completely lied about ever animating the tokens. They never did it, and they never will. But to be fair, that's actually kind of a blessing in disguise, and we're going to get into that in a second. But the main thing I want to say right now is, regardless of what does happen to CDPR, whether they go bankrupt, whether they sell out to another company, most likely Tencent, that's what my money's on, or somehow they actually do clean up their act in a couple of years and they get back into good graces, whatever, don't care. The thing that made me fall in love with this game, besides the actual fun in the gameplay, is the art. This game exposed me to so much talent, and you can find the vast majority of these artists online, on social media, on wherever they are. I highly recommend, if you do play Gwent, and even if you don't, look up the cards that they were illustrated. All of the illustrators are credited on each of these cards. They get everything that they fucking deserve. And that is a saving grace about this game, is they had the integrity to actually give credit where credit's due. Not a lot of games do that. And the one that I follow more than anyone else... Oh, how come this one's not credited? Okay, well, I guess not all the cards are credited. There we go, illustration by Graphic Studio, so that's them. Why isn't Triss fucking credited? That's some bullshit. The one card I pick, and it's not even credited. Alright, cool. Alright. Where is she? She's one of my favorite artists to follow right now. I'm just going to the best thing that's ever happened to this game. Squirrel. So I do follow Anna. She goes by, what's her name on Twitter? I'm blanking right now on so many things, but like, you can find them. Most of them use their real names in the cards, but they all link to their professional profiles, and then you can find their usernames on other social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, ArtStation, even DeviantArt, all over the place. They even have their own portfolio sites and websites and stuff like that. I highly recommend really supporting these artists because they are absolutely fucking worth it, and I don't know why I left the deck builder. I still have a point to prove. So, the artists, and the thing is, like, a bunch of these artists, because they're all professional illustrators and freelancers too, Do also cards for Magic the Gathering and other card-based games too. Keep an eye out for them. The style and the direction that was for Gwent, I can't see it anywhere else. I've yet to find another card game that looks this good. Even Magic the Gathering looks good, but its art direction isn't my taste right now. It's way too, like, not family friendly, but generic in order to appeal to the masses. Gwent clearly had a vision that it was like, this is who we are, and you're going to take it as is, and damn it, I fell in love with that. You accept us for who we are. We're a fucking Witcher-based card game, and we got boobies and asses and people getting their heads chopped off. It's gonna be great. Like, Genji Core is such a great card, too. Like, they're all just... Even Genji Kora's fucking transformation has a second card, and she spawns tokens, too. What the... I'm so mad. The thing, however, that I've always been angry and has always dug at the back of me, no matter what, and I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, it seems like this is a phrase I'm using quite often, is they credit the illustrators for the illustrations. The illustrators don't animate the foils, and these foils are so fucking good. The best foil in the game, by none, by far, is on a technical standpoint. Let me go find it. Well, a lot of the evolving cards are at that point, but one of the earliest foils that was in the game. Let's just go to Northern Realms. Boom. Where is he? Where is he? He's gold. Where are you at? He's not that low of a gold. Where are you at? There we go. Selker of Guile, because if you look at the illustration, boom. You have it flat like that. It's a guy challenging. You go to the fucking foil, and it's a completely different fucking experience. That is so fucking nice. I don't know who the animator is. Not at all. And odds are, I have a feeling that after a certain point in this game, CDPR couldn't even tell you who the animators are. Because again, for some reason, animation continuously gets thrown under the bus where you don't need to have your individuality highlighted in a production. It's the work of the studio as a whole. It's a hive mind. And it's like, no, whoever made this animation definitely deserves credit. And I really wished on the foil animations that they did credit at least someone for the animators. But I know exactly why they didn't. And this all lays down to the fucking backhanded practices of the modern day animation world as it is, and it's a fucking nightmare, is if they lay down an individual as the person who actually created the animation, then you could actually find out the source and be like, hey, were you paid a fair price? And even if they put down the studio that hired the animator to make the animation, even if it was through their company or in-house or most likely outsourced or freelanced, that can also lead down the rabbit hole of were they paid fairly for their work compared to the illustrator or anyone else in the company. And I can guarantee you the answer is no. They never are. The studio probably gets the vast majority of the budget. That doesn't mean it goes back to their workers. Their workers have to work for them for whatever their salary is, because most people have to, pay their bills and don't have time to fucking argue for equal rights or pay because they're working fucking 80 hours a week. It's almost like it's designed that way for some reason. It's crazy. This card, it's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. And to all the unsung animators in this game, you have more talent than the people who are in charge of the fucking checkbooks and running the books in this company. Just know that. It's a complete fucking disgrace. Because this type of fucking looped, fucking puppeted animation is not as easy as it appears. You have to cut out the illustration. You have to rig it to the joints. You have to do everything, and it has to be looped. And it's a fucking JPEG. Well, GIF, I suppose. It was JPEGs and then turns into GIF. And if that doesn't already give you a fucking migraine and after all the rendering, it's just... I don't know what to say. I really don't. All this talent. All this fucking talent that CDPR had at their disposal. They gave it all up to try to score big. It's like they went to the casino and gambled it all on red and it came up black. That's what they did. They took all the good grace and all the talent and everything, their laurels they were resting on, threw it all away just for the hope of somehow being a cash cow. They made a deal with the devil that absolutely didn't need to be made. They could... Imagine if they didn't do what they did with Cyberpunk. They let the team have years to take out. They didn't oversell it to investors. They weren't overcommitted, overhyped. They let the artists tell the vision they wanted to. They made a well-polished game. They were able to fund their other projects in a timely manner. They were able to budget themselves, not get greedy and pay their fucking execs multi-million-dollar bonuses for doing nothing. Like, they actually ran the company to be self-sufficient. We'd probably have, like, 2 to 3 more Thronebreaker-esque games. We'd have a balanced video game for a card game. We'd have multiple single-player adventures like Rogue Mage, where they could actually hire not slave labor, but, you know, people with actual, you know, paychecks that live off of living wages and are treated with dignity. They could have done all this. But they chose not to. They chose to cut corners, and their workers get punished for it. Because their management are just fucking absolute clowns running the circus. Absolute fucking clowns. Clowns. I don't know any other way to say it. Well, I do, but I don't know how to say it for TOS standards, let's put it that way. So, again, all of the talent that made these games what they are, including the Witcher games, which I've never even played. I can only speak to those who worked on Gwent, Thronebreaker, and to an extent Rogue Mage, because the talent did go into Rogue Mage, but it wasn't treated fairly. That was sweatshop labor. It was awful. Absolutely not worth the fucking investment that it was in order to... Let me just say this. Entertainment is not worth human sacrifices, because otherwise you're just going back, like, 100,000 years ago in regression from human evolution. You don't need human sacrifices for entertainment, including working people to death and burning them out for fucking video games, movies, TV shows, whatever have you. It's not worth the sacrifice of someone else's dignity and humanity in order to get a video game. You can wait until it's fucking done. So, to all the talent out there who put their blood, sweat, and tears into making this experience, thank you. Thank you for what you did. Akron! That's the name of the artist I follow on Twitter. I had to get it out of there. Anyways, so, go check her out. Go check out all the other artists involved. They're great. They do amazing shit. They really need your support. You can support them directly and not just through fucking shitty multi-dollar companies who use and abuse them and don't give a fuck, and then you won't have access to their art once the games get shut down. Isn't that great? So, again, to all the talent out there, including programmers, coders, developers, play testers, artists, concept artists, the writers, definitely the fucking writers, I just made the whole game as immersive as it was just from reading off the cards. Everyone who was added to this game through their skill and talents and creativity, I just want to say thank you. And I'm so sorry that this is how things are ended. I mean, my condolences don't have much weight to them because people are losing their jobs. But I have an idea. Okay. I mentioned this last time on last stream. I'm gonna throw it out again. All right, just in case you missed it. Just in case. So here's an idea that I'm gonna just spitball out there, throw out into the ether. If anyone wants to, play around with this idea, go for it. I'd be happy to be someone's inspiration. Is that those who worked on Gwent clearly showed they know how to make a card game. They know how to make something off an IP and making its own original and in-depth universe and going from there. You've proven yourself. There's a lot of IPs out there who are also in the same boat when it comes to a lot of resources to work off of. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe pitch a card-based video game to Bandai Namco. Maybe use the From Software licenses they have, like Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring. Maybe propose to them an idea of creating an online video game pretty similar to Gwent. You don't need mana, you use characters, and then the guilds in the game could actually be the factions that you use, and then you could do PvE and PvP. It's a very ripe field of creativity. I've also heard Miyazaki-san might just be a massive Magic the Gathering fan. He likes card games. He likes fucking RNG-based card games. You might have a shot, considering how much experience you actually have in the video game field. I'm just saying, you could always try that. That's one option. Or go to other places that have other IPs. Marvel Snap just came out. They're making a shit ton of money. It's probably going to be flash in the pan because it's Disney. So again, look for places that won't use and abuse you. But, it's out there. I mean, FromSoft's already shown, and Bamco's already shown that they have no problems licensing out their IPs to real card games. You got Bloodborne, the card game. You got Dark Souls, the card game. You have Dark Souls, the board game. They have no problem doing this for real life physical media. So, if you want to go down the video game path, it's an idea. It's a thought. I mean, if the Witcher universe is basically disowning you, tell them to fuck right off and just move on to the next project. And I believe in you. I think you get it done. Just try it. Just try it. See what happens. So yes, will I be streaming Gwent in the future? Probably not. Now, because I don't see the point. I can play Vampire Survivors. I can play anything else. Also, speaking of which, a brand new free RPG just got released. Well, actually, it's an MMORPG. I've never played one before in my life, but it's on PlayStation, and it's cross-platform. It might be on everything. I don't know. I know it's on the Nintendo Switch because I asked my friend to look for it, and they can have access to it. So, the studio that created Journey, Abzu and Flower, in the past, they finally made a game that's like Journey, but is an actual MMORPG, and it's called Sky Children of Light. Not sponsored at all. It just showed up, and I downloaded it, just like how Gwent was shown to me as a free game on the PlayStation 4, so I tried it out because it was free. I've tried this out. I've been playing it nonstop for 3 days. It's fucking fantastic. There's zero fucking character dialogue. The artwork's amazing. It's great. It's wholesome. It's fun. You can fly around and you pick up crabs and you chuck them. It's great. It's amazing. I love everything about it. So I'm going to be sinking my time into that. So one door closes, a lot more open up. So if CDPR doesn't want to respect their workers' time or their players' time, don't give them any more. I would recommend those of you who still do want to play Gwent, don't give them any more money. Don't buy anything else from the shop. The cosmetics aren't worth it. If there's journeys you're missing, it doesn't matter. Once the servers are shut down, you're not gonna have access to them. You're not gonna be able to open and play the game that you put money into. You put blood, sweat, and tears into. Time. Not to be dramatic or anything, but hundreds of hours do add up. It's like how if I didn't play fucking Overwatch for all those years, I could have 5,000 more hours in TF2. A much better use of my time, but lo and behold, no. That's not what happened, is it, Blizzard Activision? So, yeah, I probably will keep playing Gwent for a little while until I get so ungodly bored by it, because I do have OCD, and even though I know the fucking none of this matters, literally none of this fucking matters, it just bothers me, like, up here, where it's like, I gotta get them all. But eventually, if I do happen to max all these out, I'm not gonna buy anything else from the shop. I'll finish off the journeys I have, but if the game becomes so fucking unplayable, I'm just done. I'm just not gonna come back to Gwent. I'm gonna miss the Monday resets. I'm gonna miss the times to come get your, come on, come get your journey bonuses. Only once every week. You gotta get them now, otherwise they're gonna expire. It's gonna expire. No, it's already dead to me. I don't care. Once something I've let go, and I've acknowledged I let go, I don't go back to it very often. It's almost like I moved on. And so, it sucks that all of the art I'm not going to have access to. All the cosmetics, everything. That's going to really fucking hurt. I know there is a Gwent art book out there, but someone needs to archive all of the animated foils just to make sure it's not lost media. I know Reddit does that a lot, so hopefully the foils won't be lost, because that is actually someone put work into those. Someone made those. Someone animated those. And it would be a real shame if those got lost. So I hope people are able to save them. But otherwise, I really don't plan on streaming Gwent. I might do it again if there's any more massive news, but otherwise, I'm done. Everyone's gonna be done with Gwent in another year anyways, so I'm just cutting it early, cutting my losses now. I put in, how much money did I give these guys? How much were the journeys? Like, what, 10 or 20 bucks? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a minimum of $80 to $160 they got over the course of 3 years. So that's 180 to be gratuitous. 180 divided by 3. That's like $60 a year they got out of me. That is not a lot for a monetized game for one person. That's like buying a new game once a year. I don't know how they thought they could survive without having draft being a legitimate form of tournament style. That's all they had to do. If they just invested into a well-working structured form of a tournament style where you buy in with actual money, it would have been a gold mine. It would have been the fucking golden ticket, in my humble opinion. I don't know, maybe they play tested it and people were like, I don't want to pay money for it, you know. Stuff like that. Who knows? But otherwise, Gwent, just, I don't care. The company told me not to care, so wow, surprise Pikachu face. I don't fucking care. That's what it boils down to. Yeah, sucks that it had to end this way, but all good things come to an end. Gwent kind of came to an end in 2020, though. Let's be honest here. Really, it really didn't have a good past couple of years. No. It got to die a slow, miserable death. So again, final thoughts. I'm predicting that CDPR is already in talks to be acquired by Tencent/Epic Games. The vast majority of the staff that they still have on this year, they ain't going to be around for 2024. Things will get outsourced a lot more to third-party studios, a la the Activision Blizzard way of doing things, instead of doing them in-house, or using, if they do get acquired by Tencent, using their sub-studios and shit like that they have contracts with. And no matter what happens to this game, the CEOs are going to make a shit ton of money. That's the worst part. That really is. They're going to get rewarded for their terrible, awful fucking behavior. They're going to get rewarded for running a company into the ground. What a fucking shame. Watching 2024, they come out with the Gwent 2 sequel. Don't fall for that shit. Do not fall for any of that fucking shit. Any good graces that CDPR had is gone. There is not one thing they could do to get back on my good side. That's it. It's done. It's over. Nothing else to say. So, I just want to say, for all of you who found me through Gwent, thanks for watching this journey. I'm sorry that it has to end this way, but I will still be streaming. I won't be... There's not too many card games that on the horizon that interest me. I'm not looking to get into Magic. I'm not looking to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or Marvel Snap or anything like that. There will be more of this in the future. These types of card games. So, if you like the classics, stay around for those. Those are always fun times. But, until something, catches my attention, like, say, a fucking MMORPG where all you do is make beeps and boops and wave to people on Sony. It's you never know what's gonna get you, but when it does, it hooks itself right into you, and you can't break free. I can break free from Gwent, but the thing I'm trying to say is, I will still be doing content. If you like my content, keep following me. If you only wanted to watch me play my sweet gaming skills, still follow me. It's gonna be great. But we had a good time together. We had some Gwent adventures, but the adventure has to come to an end. So I hope all of you out there, have a good one. And I hope we do cross paths once more. But otherwise, my Gwent adventure is pretty much ending here. I might play every now and then, just because I have something that I gotta, just grind. And this is something I already own, and I can grind it until it's completely done, and then the OCD's gone, don't care about it, it's over with. But otherwise, yeah, this is the end. And no, I'm not playing any more games for tonight. I played Bare Meta. I have zero interest in playing those other cards. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what cards they added to the game. The game is not gonna be here. It doesn't fucking matter. There is 0 point for me to invest my energies into something that has already said it's leaving you and it doesn't care about you. It's time to move on. It's time to stop. To all the pro players out there, you have my condolences. To all the people who made this game what it is and actually cared and got completely fucked over, you have my condolences. But those with talent, you will get by, and you'll keep chugging along, and I will continue to support the artist who I know worked on the game and was introduced to the game through the illustrations the best that I can. And I definitely urge everyone to support the artist who worked on this game. And to the programmers and coders and writers and the animators who worked on this game, I'd also speak up, in the Reddits and stuff like that, and be like, hey, if you like my stuff, follow me. I don't see why not. Advertise yourself. Develop a following of people who actually appreciated your shit and will continue to appreciate who you are as a talent. That's all I can say. And also, give Bamco a call and be like, yo, I got this idea for a Dark Souls based online card game. Just saying. So one can always hope, alright? One can always hope. I'm gonna miss the artwork to this game in the foils. What a fucking shame. I am not playing Hearthstone. I have not played Hearthstone since 2014. Fuck right off. I defeated that fucking demon years ago. Never fucking again. So anyways, this has been the stream. I've been streaming for about 3 hours now. This will actually go up on YouTube. A lot of great gameplay footage. Remember that time when I was drinking a soda and I didn't shut the fuck up while trying to drink an energy drink and I spilled all over me like a fucking 5-year-old? I learned not to do that again. Alright, so to all my fellow Gwenters, Godspeed, and may we meet again on the battlefield once more, but until then we gotta part ways. So for my normal viewers, I'm gonna tell you guys to, until next time, stick around, stay tuned, and peace out. But for my Gwent viewers, it was a nice journey. I had a lot of fun. I will always take credit for inventing my meme artifact Dwelf deck that is nothing but traps and was the best deck I ever designed, and everyone copied me. That was me. That was my own original innovation, and you're welcome. You're welcome, Gwent community. And that one time I posted on the Gwent Reddit that meme, that was funny. That was a good time. That was a lot of fun. And I really hope the Gwent community does keep the foils alive. Those need to be saved and preserved. The artwork in all of its form needs to be saved and preserved to showcase the talent that actually went into this game. So, for those, I have to say goodbye. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Das Vidania. I don't know how to say goodbye in Polish, and also in French, les baguettes. So, I hope our paths do cross once more in the future in some other way. But I will continue streaming other content, and until next time, stick around, stay tuned, and peace out. Au revoir!